Introducing the Open Palm Podcast with host Jerome Shaw, available today on your favorite podcast platforms. The Open Palm Podcast is a positive, uplifting, motivational, and inspirational podcast. The host brings his insight and philosophy, and you can't help but gravitate towards his smile, his words, and his wisdom. Again, the podcast he hosts is titled The Open Palm Podcast. It's about inspirational messages, motivating themes, and thought-provoking ideas and topics. He'll also help you become more aware and in harmony with your own life, giving you a better understanding of your place in the world and using your skills accordingly, greeting the world with an open palm instead of a closed fist. You can find the show today on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and more. You can also connect with the host on Instagram at Jerome Shaw. That's JROMESHAW on Instagram. Jerome Shaw with the Open Palm Podcast. Motivation, meditation, mentality. Go listen, download, and subscribe today.
We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, therefore, is not an act, but a habit. I was speaking with a friend of mine, a lovely friend, and she was saying that she thought the things I've been doing are extraordinary. That making these podcast episodes and the pace, the rhythm, the effortlessness, and the fact that I don't have to write anything down, but it's just seamless and it flows. I had to let her know that these things to me aren't that extraordinary. They're actually quite easy. But I shouldn't say that they're easy, because in the beginning, it wasn't as easy as it seems to be today. In the beginning, before I hit that tipping point, I had to push that boulder up the mountain. Consistency, persistency, pushing through. Just keep going. Just keep going, right? Just keep swimming. Just keep swimming. I think I can. I think I can. I know I can. I am. And when I finally got to the top of that mountain, at the peak, all it takes is a little push. And now, that boulder is rolling on its own momentum. So, whether it's doing a podcast episode, whether it's learning a new skill, practicing, or lifting weights in the gym, the activity doesn't get easier. You get better. There are times where, by doing something again and again, knowing that repetition is the mother of skill and consistency is that DNA of mastery. What is the difference between a master and a beginner? Simple. The master has failed more times than the beginner has tried. So, when the audience is looking on at the magician on stage, you know, they say a magician never reveals their tricks. The magician is behind the curtain. They understand the tricks of their trade. They know the rules of their craft. They respect it. But what the audience sees is not what the magician sees. The magician knows the trick. He knows the magic behind the performance. The audience sees the performance and thinks it's magic. They think that what is easily attainable for him is unattainable for them, or unachievable, or a task that may seem out of their reach, when in reality, it's only doing something again and again. Perception is reality. What are we focusing on and paying attention to? And how can we allow perfection to flow, as my wonderful friend told me, letting perfection flow out of you? In whatever you do, do it well. Be the best that you can possibly be. Do the best that you possibly can. That is all anyone could ever ask. But realize on your journey that it is a journey. And just like people may ask me, how on earth do you have over 500 podcast episodes? Easily. One episode at a time. How do you achieve a journey of 1,000 miles? One step at a time. So think of your life as a wonderful playground. We're all just experimenting, making things up as we go. But if you want to get better at something, my advice is to do it. There were many times that I used to look at things a little backwards. I wanted to read faster, but instead of just reading, I would go to classes on speed reading. Now, this is not wrong, but I was actually avoiding the one thing that would move me forward, closer to my goal, which was reading itself. We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, therefore, is not an act, but a habit. Remember, the magician, who might seem to have an ace up his sleeve, a trick behind the curtain, they just know one thing that you don't. It's only fantastical and mind-blowing because there's something you don't know. But maybe that's what makes it fun. The mysticism, the mystery. Being able to dream, being able to wonder. What makes things work? What makes us tick? How do we get so good at certain things? It is a marvel. Life is marvelous. We are marvelous. You are marvelous. And I believe, if you believe and set out to achieve, you may accomplish many marvels in this lifetime. My friend, in this incarnation, allow yourself to be you. Let perfection flow through. Thank you for listening, my friend. This has been Jerome Shaw on TOP, the Open Palm Podcast, here in Runyon Canyon, California, Los Angeles. The Open Palm means harmony with the world, understanding our place in the world, using our skills accordingly, greeting the world with an open palm instead of a closed fist. I pray you received an encouraging message today that was inspired by my friend Tuche, who told me that we are able to allow perfection to flow through us, flow out of us. But that's just it, isn't it? We have to allow. So in whatever you do, if you ever hit that tipping point, you go past that point where most people quit or most people stop, and you feel like, oh wow, it's so easy now. Realize that thing didn't actually get easier. You got better. And you can get better and better. Share this episode with a like-minded individual who is learning and growing, becoming their greatest version just like you, being all that they can be, embracing failure, embracing their process, and embracing your journey. Pay it forward so more can hear the message. And if this is your very first time receiving this podcast, definitely give it a subscribe for more inspirational messages like this. And if you feel compelled to support, head on over to anchor.fm/jshaw. Supporting the podcast there is much appreciated. Thank you to all the wonderful supporters who continue to donate and contribute to the podcast. Much love to you, my friends. Have a wonderful and blessed day or night, wherever you are. Grab the new book now on Amazon that is called Finding Inner Peace by Jerome Shaw. And as always, take care. Hey there, my friend. So you've heard about Anchor, but do you know why it's the easiest way to make a podcast? Well, first off, it's free. It allows you to use creation tools that let you record your podcast right from your phone or computer. It also distributes your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more platforms. You can even make money from your podcast with minimum listenership. It's everything you need in one place. Download the free Anchor app today or go to anchor.fm to get started. Can't wait to hear yours. Let's see what you have to offer the world.